Well, April is National Child Abuse Prevention Month, but every day is a vital one to speak with kids about body safety and touch. So joining us with steps to open the dialogue with children, caregivers, and teachers is ROSALIA Rivera, child sexual abuse prevention expert and founder of Consent Parenting. And ROSALIA, this topic is so important and I think, sometimes scary for parents, but something we definitely need to talk about. So let's start with grooming and the signs that we should be aware of.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, first of all. I love that you're bringing this topic to the front because a lot of parents don't know about grooming and what it is. And it's so important that we understand this because 90% of abuse happens at the hands of people that a child and parents know and trust. So we need to know what these signs are. And they include someone who wants to get a lot of one-on-one time with the child. They're looking for that access, right? They may be someone who is giving your child lots of gifts. And this can include online as well. So these are grooming strategies that predators can use both offline as well as online. So yeah, if you find that someone is giving your child gifts, they're not necessarily maybe telling you about it or asking the child to keep it a secret, that's definitely a grooming tactic. Other things really include like being really physical with the child. If you see a lot of touch, doesn't necessarily have to be a touch that seems inappropriate, but it can be something that makes the child get more comfortable with that excessive physical touch. So there's a list of grooming strategies, but we need to understand that predators are people that we will trust. We develop a trusting relationship with them. We may know them in our lives. They can be family members, relatives. It can be people that are caregivers, babysitters, daycare providers. Anyone who is in regular contact with your child can be grooming them. And so we need to know what those signs are to look for.
Yeah, well, you've definitely already at least given us a few. So now it kind of comes to having that talk with our children, about body safety. So what are some of the best practices for getting the conversation started?
Yeah, I want to just preface also by saying these don't have to be scary conversations. I know that we tend to think these have to be like the stranger danger type conversations, but it really starts with empowering our kids in really fun ways. We want to let them know that their body belongs to them, right? So teaching them about body autonomy is really an empowering lesson for kids. So starting with these solid foundations of your body belongs to you, helping them understand what their boundaries are, and then how to, implement those boundaries and uphold them. And if someone doesn't respect those boundaries, what they can do, like reporting to a parent, letting them know right away so that it doesn't escalate and happen again. So if you start with these really solid foundations that empower kids about their rights, it can be really exciting for them instead of feeling like a scary conversation.
I think that's a really great shift in that conversation, and even for us parents as well, looking at it from like an empowering standpoint for our kids as opposed to kind of scaring them and maybe even ourselves.
Exactly.
So ROSALIA, what's your advice for getting caregivers and also educators involved in body safety?
Yeah, so this is a really important part because we don't want our kids to be responsible for preventing abuse. We want to educate them about what's appropriate and inappropriate, but the other 50% is work that we need to do to communicate with those adults. So it starts with informing them about what we're doing and why we're doing it, right? So starting to educate those adults about the statistics, right? 1 in 5 girls, 1 in 6 boys. These are numbers that a lot of people don't know. So when we start from that place of education, then our practices are easier for them to buy into, right? So we want to educate and say, we're starting to practice body safety. These are the reasons why. We would love to have you on board to be a safe person in our child's life. And here's how you can do that, right? So giving them the tools to be able to start practicing that with them as well.
Yeah. All right. And then lastly, I think so many of us, as we were younger, to greet people with, either a hug or a kiss or, kind of that maybe a little bit too close. Why do you think we should maybe break that cycle?
Yeah, so I think it's a very old school, and I completely get it. This is how most people were raised, that it was this sign of respect. And I always like to, turn these ideas on their head and say, well, actually, what we're trying to do is to teach our children about respect and to let them know that it's important to communicate that if we want that physical affection, that we ask for it and that we wait for that person to let us know if that's okay or not, or what they would prefer. So we're really just giving options and teaching communication. So when we tell that to adults, it really helps them to reconsider the way that they're engaging and to know that parents are teaching their children about how to respect the rights of others and be respected. So it really is about shifting that conversation as well.
Yeah, really, really great stuff, Rosalia. Consentparenting.com. I know that you've also got some great book resources as well on your website, really comprehensive. So thank you so much. And I'll be going to the website as well.